ain't gonna expose. I'm not like that. I'm not a snitch. Virginity. It's a hush topic. Yeah.
They love me.
Let's see if your parents raised you.
It's deeper than the physical.
What up, fam? Welcome back to the Juxtaposition, everyone.
Hello, people. We are back. Welcome back to the Juxtaposition. We're excited to be back.
Hi, guys.
Here.
I hope you guys watched our first episode. I hope you guys watched our first episode.
Yeah.
They did.
I know.
And they're going to if they didn't.
Right?
Yes.
So
You can click the link. It's probably going to be somewhere in the corner. She can link it below. Or you can just go back and stream through our page.
wow, I forgot
Figure
that
it out.
last time I said we're gonna put a link in the description, and then we didn't. I didn't do that.
A link
So
to what?
I don't remember.
Oh.
But that's okay. But today's a hot day for those.
Very hot.
I'm
What is
sweating.
hot as fish grease.
It's like 33 or something like that.
Yeah, it's hot as fish grease.
And I'm wearing
It's
I'm
about
wearing
Texas. Like Texas.
Yeah, it feels
weather.
like it. It
all the
feels
time.
like it. But today is a good day because
Today's a great day.
it is a great day. It's always a great day.
Yes.
But we're gonna talk about something that
touchy.
is a little touchy. Well, we
Very
did say
touchy.
a part of our about or our bio is basically we talk about situations and have conversations that are
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's true.
And
Very
so
uncomfortable.
this one is uncomfortable for all of us,
Yes.
but this topic is desperately needed to be talked about. And so we're going to get right into it. So this past week, if you guys, I mean, obviously
If you don't know.
Demi Lovato came out and talked about identifying as non-binary.
In this pandemic, in the time of break, she discovered herself. And she says she is non-binary now. And she doesn't want her she
Genderless.
So now she's no
Yes.
longer being she doesn't want to be addressed as she wants to be addressed
said
as they.
them doesn't
them.
want to be referred to as he, him, or she, and her.
Yes, anything that
Right.
refers to a gender.
So
don't.
they Sabrina
or
or
They, like,
no, it's not with their names.
Isn't that how you
no,
say it?
no, it's
No,
like
no,
she
it's
is
just-
going or now
like
it's-
you're saying me, but me is replaced with they. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So
No,
no name.
no name after
They is
the
going
act
to
of
the
it.
mall.
they is
Yes.
going to or them
Well,
is
DJ
going-
Khaled said they is the enemy, so
Oh,
I'm
God.
just saying is that's what he
Like
said.
they.
Yeah, that's
like-
what he says. He says they. You see, you know what,
Sorry,
people? Hold
I was
on. Let me
really getting a little
get this out the way.
confused.
Let me get this out the way.
Oh, yes,
If I'm chuckling, doesn't mean I'm insensitive.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I just chuckle. Trust me, you will know when I'm totally off.
I think this has
You
to be
know?
addressed before we begin because
Disclaimer, she's gonna
we,
put on.
we are not being like
You don't even have to put a disclaimer. Let
no,
them
but
listen
like you
and
have to
hear.
understand that if you're a listener, and obviously if you don't agree, you don't agree. That's your own point of view. But
true.
we are not being insensitive at all. We actually genuinely love people. And so we're saying this from a place of love, and it's not a place of bashing or trying to offend. Well,
Or tear
people are
people
going to be
down.
offended regardless because that's how life is. But we're not trying to tear down or bring down people's characters or whatever the case may be. But we're identifying something that is not based off of truth.
And Christians also have to realize that this world we live in, this generation we live in, is nothing new. Like, you know,
It's true.
if you go back to the Bible, Genesis, Sodom and Gomorrah, like you see the men outside wanted to sleep with the angels, or you see Lot, his daughters slept with him. So you see bare foolishness,
Right.
quote unquote foolishness in the Bible. So what I see today, it's like it's not surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just it's still not we're not able to I guess adjust, and so I mean let's define non-binary before we
Okay.
begin because generally honestly I was confused when I first heard this non-binary thing. I said what
I'd even want to educate myself. to
what
be
in the
honest.
world
I
are
didn't even
what
know.
is this like it generally like it logically didn't make sense to me.
Wait, does it feel like Demi Lovato is the one that
No,
like,
this-
she's
she
the
didn't-
first I ever heard?
No.
There has been definitely.
definitely-
How long has this been out?
So
No, it
I was
has
gonna
been
say
out
there's
for
some
sure.
celebrities like Elliot Page from like Juno. She has just recently came out. Like I think
that-
if
yeah,
she's
I think I
I don't know if
know
she
that
said she's transgender, but she said she's not. Sam Smith said he's
Yeah, I've heard about
non-binary.
that one too.
So
Janelle Monáe said she's
Does it
non-binary.
mean? Sorry, this is where it goes to chuckling. Does it mean that they don't like. So if I'm Demi Lovato, she likes boys and girls.
No, it's not about
Or
what
it's
she likes.
identity.
How she
Self.
identifies
Oh,
herself.
oh,
Yeah, it's
oh,
about
oh. Yeah.
it's about themselves, not about what.
So no sexuality. This has to
this
do
has
with
nothing with
no,
sexuality.
Oh,
It has
okay,
more
okay,
so to
okay,
do
okay,
with
okay.
their identity. What?
But
they
how do
identify
people
as.
get to that point? How come? Like, what's wrong with the just the regular he or her? Like, I don't understand. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Is that derogatory? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know how some people like to change stuff in the history books, like because it causes some sort of like, you know, I don't know. But what's wrong with he and her? Like, you know? Oh, you know why? Maybe because the whole transgender thing.
This guy asked the question and then answered the question.
No. Well, maybe because of that, right? Because the whole there's different genders in people's eyes now in this world.
Of course, but she's gonna like just say like what is the what means non-binary, and then we'll get into like the other questions as well. So.
Okay, so non-binary refers to someone who does not identify only as a man or a woman, i.e. traditional gender binary, which is man or woman or whatever. So they can identify as both a man and a woman in between the two genders, or not a part of any gender category. That doesn't make any sense to me. But non-binary can also be used as an umbrella term encompassing identities such as agender, bigender, genderqueer, or gender fluid. And so, like I said before, some celebrities that came out are Elliot Page, Sarah Ramirez.
I don't know none of these guys. All I heard is Janelle Monáe.
What's it called? Grey's Anatomy. Sam Smith, Janae Monáe, and now Demi Lovato. There's probably a bunch of other people that also identify as non-binary. So that is the definition of being, or someone who identifies as non-binary. So
yeah,
what's your thoughts, guys?
My thoughts.
Let us know.
Is first, I just want to like get the difference between like gender and sex, because that's like there's a difference. They all coincide with each other, but I think there's also a clear difference in that, because when watching the video, I discovered like they're talking about gender as a social construct, which I do understand what they're talking about. So I'm just gonna say like the definition of gender and then sex. So gender means either the two sexes, male or female, especially when considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. This term is also used more broadly to denote a range of identities that do not correspond to established ideas of male and female. So that's gender. Sex is either of the two main categories, male or female, in which humans and most other living creatures are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions. So, my opinion on that is the non-binary really does confuse me. I think it kind of just destroys a whole English language. First, it destroys the language and how to grammatically correct. Like, just throw that all away because we're now confused. We're just trying to learn English. Now, all of a sudden, like, we're putting they and them in wrong spots. People are getting confused. Children who are learning English now now have to learn they and them. It's just a whole, like, we're tearing down a 20... not even centuries of
it
a
messes
language.
up the grammar. That's that part.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
For me, it's confusion. I'm confused. See this face? I'm confused. Not in a bad way, but I'm really confused. And it's just causing confusion onto the kids, onto everyone. And it's like, what are we now teaching as a teacher? Like, when you apply for a job or you become a new teacher, are you forced to say they, them, he, she? You have a choice. All the, like, you know, when you're applying for things online and they have the box or he, she, or other. They do other, or they don't want to disclose or something like that. It just causes confusion, and it's scary because we're in 2021, so I can only imagine 10, 15, 20 years later, what more is going to be added to it? Like LGB... Sorry, I don't know.
LGBTQ plus.
There is more. There's SYZ, SUV. You know, that's not a joke, but I was getting. But yes, it's like it's just I'm confused.
Right.
I just need clarity. Yeah. Clarity.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are like, what does it matter? Let people have their freedom and, like, you know, they can identify. Do what they want to do. But that's the problem. That's how the enemy has deceived our minds. We have become so complacent. I was listening to this pastor talking about how we're fighting against this, because if nobody does, it's not going to change. Yeah. And the fact is, like,
the church. Sorry, I'm gonna
go.
But the church, that just means that we're starting to bend.
No, we have bended. We have bended.
A lot of denominations, Catholicism, have bended and have bended the rules
they're
and
twisting and turning.
Twisted the words of
They're twisting
the gospel and allowed gay marriages to happen, all this stuff to happen. It's like, okay, so what are we really following anymore?
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the problem. What are we following?
You know, so
what is the basis?
What's the religion now?
Yes. Like, you have basically perverted the religion. So that's what I'm saying. So when people look at Christians now, it's like, but you say we follow a Bible that says specific things, but you're going against what you're following, which doesn't make any sense. So you're giving room for
like
people to now.
Yes,
now we're conforming.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to one, like I said before. So this pastor is saying, like, we live in a generation where there's an 11th commandment where it's thou shalt be nice. We have to be nice to people. We don't want to offend anybody.
We don't want to step on
anybody's toes. So what happens is that the culture now infiltrates, and now the church either compromise, like Catholicism, compromise and say, yes, gay marriages can happen, or we basically get persecuted and silenced, and we get beaten down to the point where we can't do certain things anymore.
And for an example, right now, currently happening, people are conformed to accustom to themselves to the pronouns. It's like, okay, so I don't believe in this, but I forcefully need to be able to call you they, them, when it doesn't even follow what my moral standards is, that there's only a he and a she, and now there are other pronouns, and now it's like, now you're combating against me, you're getting angry that we're not following your pronouns. I said that yes, that's you. Yeah. You want to call they, them? Your friends could call you they, them. But the whole world doesn't need to call you they, them.
Yeah. I think it's like you can't, it's like they can get offended, but we can't get offended for standing.
They can have a voice. Yeah. They can have a voice, but we can't.
We can't have a voice. Yeah.
But speaking on the church, like, Pastor Prince told me, shout out to Pastor Prince. He said this: when it comes to culture, look to points to access instead of points of difference. And I think with the church, instead of just bashing, accept them and be welcoming, but you're going to tell the truth. Yes. And if that person loves God, they're gonna suppress their desires, right? So it's a way of inviting people in, instead of people that are non-binary looking at Christians like, oh my God, they're gonna judge me, they're gonna do that. But certain people or a certain generation, they just look down upon stuff like that. Yeah. But when you're inviting, it's more like you can teach better rather than just, because a lot of people are militant when it comes to that.
Yeah, they're just like,
they can they can either be militant or they can be very passive.
But passive, yes.
And not, there's two extremes, so there's no balance, right?
And then people say it's not for me, or it doesn't affect me, or I don't really have to talk about it. But it does. Yeah. As Christians, we're supposed to combat perversion and stuff like that. We're supposed to fight for our faith, And is that what they call apologetics, right? Yeah. And a lot of Christians were just too, like you said, passive.
Yeah, they just kind of let it slide.
Because they can have a march and have laws and stuff like that.
But we can't say anything. Listen, if Christians came out today with a march saying we do not agree, we get persecuted. This is modern day persecution. Let me just say it like that. Like, that's the honest truth. Like, we're not getting killed. Because, see, that's the thing. We have it really easy where we're not getting killed. We're not getting, we don't have to hide our
There are countries,
we don't have to.
Israel?
We don't have to.
Who literally can't. China can't open the Bible.
Yeah, there's places all over the world that they're hiding to be Christians, but we have it fairly easy where we're not getting killed. But then that's a problem, because now we sit back and be like, I'm good. I can be a Christian,
and it's okay because I have some certain friends that I don't agree with their lifestyle, but if you ask them about me, they can say, yo, Nana still led with love. Like, he still loves me, even if I tell him this and that, So it's not always the person's going to hate you and stuff like that. You just have to give someone a chance.
I think people don't really know how to do that. It's by the book, which is like the Bible thumpers. It's like, okay, word for word, this is what it says, and it will scare everybody away. It won't scare me away, okay, if that were to happen to me. And then there's people who are just like, it's okay, Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, they're my friend. It's I just want to be nice. Yeah. I've been 10 plus years with them. I'm gonna start judging them now.
But that's the problem. I think a lot of people, a lot of people stay silent because they have friends that, or coworkers or people around them that are either identify as non-binary, transgendered, bisexual, or lesbian, or whatever, like homosexual, basically.
Right.
And so they don't want to be like, they don't want to offend people, and they don't want to lose the friendship. But then it's like, how much is that value? How much do you value that relationship more than God? And if you value it more than God, then it has become idolatry. It's you no longer serve the master. You're now serving your relationship as the most valuable thing in your life. And that's the thing. If you're a Christian
who just goes along with everybody,
and now as a Christian, you have to reevaluate, who am I serving? Am I serving God, or am I serving the people? Am I serving the savior of the world, the savior of my life, or am I serving the people who are the enemies of God and going against what you actually believe? And a lot of people don't want to sit down and talk about that. Nobody wants to talk like that. Like,
for me, it was also like when I worked at Foot Locker. It's not like, it's like I did want to say the truth, but I didn't really care for you like that. Like, it was work, relationship. I come to work, it was like that. And I leave, it was like that. So I haven't really like dealt with someone close to me that was transgender or non-binary, you know? So it's like, I do get what you're saying. I do, and I do think it's true. But as of right now, as a transformed Christian, that's the approach I would have. If I really love you as a human being, right, rather than not a friend, then I'm gonna like try to say something, you know, the truth.
Yeah, for sure. And the truth is of the matter. Like, we have to say the truth. The truth is this.
But the problem is
only two genders.
The problem
there's no in
is,
between.
even in school right now, I remember we just started a semester and they said, "Oh, this is a free space. What's the word? No one should be like
no one to judge,
no
discrimination, and stuff like that." So I imagine if this topic would come out, I could possibly be like suspended.
And that's a risk. True. But that's a risk you have to take. Like, that's something you have to, because that's persecution. Like Jesus said at the beginning, you're going to get persecuted. When you say I am a Christian, you're going to get persecuted. And so if you're going to lose your job, you have to believe God will provide you another one. If you're going to lose a space in school or something like that, you get suspended, you got to know God is going to provide a way out.
And that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one too for me, because one thing, well, it's not tricky, is one thing I stand firm on is my my belief and my faith. So if I enter into a workplace and this is my thoughts and this is my beliefs, then if I can possibly get fired, then it is what it is. Like, I really don't care, to be honest.
I think a lot of people would definitely not do that. And I think one of the biggest issues is like, so I just wanted to get into like what I thought from her video, watching just a little bit of it, just a general like vibe of it, is like, gender is a social construct. I think that's where she was really getting at. Being gender as a social construct is basically like conforming to the way that we as a society want males and females to address themselves, or to act, or to, you know, dress, that type of thing. So that's where she's kind of getting at, and that it can be a tricky situation because we're in a male-dominated world, and we got to know that, and that's why feminism is such at a rise right now, because we're reaching for equality. And I think that's where she's at. I'm not sure, but that's my opinion. But
Demi Lovato?
Yeah, I think she just she kind of wants the equality. She's trying to figure out where she fits lies in society, and
or she's trying to see. I think once again, it's like a power
shift or power dynamic.
Like it's not equal. So a lot of people are trying to say like, I have something to give, but there's no opportunity for me to display my abilities.
And I'm not like I'm not a male. I'm not like a female, but
it's a group of 20 that find a Facebook group and they go hard and they create some more. Like, I don't understand, like, who is the ringleader
of what?
And like, let's make non-binary a thing. You know, like, who?
I think a lot of people,
that?
But a lot of people are struggling with identity. Like, that's the problem. Like, they don't know who they are, and so like it's like, okay, I don't really lean towards. I don't
side
really,
or the other.
like, but the thing is, you have to understand, like, it's okay to be like, I'm a tomboy, but I'm a girl.
Yeah.
I like dressing like a guy. fine.
But genetically,
you're
male
a
or
man.
female.
Like,
No, we can't be that's something I'm
So that's
I'm
one thing you
forever
can't
not
argue
moving
with.
in.
Like,
You can't- that's not an argument
but
to
the
me.
feeling, as you were saying, like
To me,
like some people
feel like.
some people, yeah, like a lot of people, like I feel like this, and that's the thing. A lot of times you're feeling, once again, it shifts, it changes depending on your season. So sometimes you can be like, okay, I feel this way. The next season you feel like this, and so like you can't say
come out as like
non-binary because you
It's like next
you
year
more
you can
so
come out
lean,
as
like you more so lean towards like a
one
man.
side. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like,
pick a side,
that's why I'm saying there's literally no in between. Like, I don't know what gender exists that is in between. There's no in between. Even if you're intersex, you're still considered genetically a man or genetically a woman. There is no, that's how detailed God is. He's down to the T. Like, you can't even say, like, even if you're intersex, you have genitalia of man and woman. If you go down to DNA chromosomes, it will show that you're either a man or you're either a woman. And how can you fight that?
Right.
You know what I mean? How can you fight that?
What is the argument? That's me. Like, if I were to talk to somebody like, yo, no, like you're a girl, like you're a guy, like
They're gonna go by feeling.
then I can't take you serious. Sorry, I can't.
But
no, I can't.
Once again, like, sorry,
You know,
it's just
it might sound harsh, but I can't. I need some more details. More.
makes you this way.
Yes. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
Because
just-
feelings are
What do
fleeting.
you mean feelings? Your feelings change every day. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I agree.
And I feel like when we say like feelings are fleeting, the church can come at it as harsh. Like they can look at the church as we're not accepting, going back to them not being accepting, right? And it's kind of like,
But there's like so many examples in your life that
Right.
shows that you
And it's like
are
a
not
group-
stable.
yeah. But there's like a group that like they combine the church as one, and how the church looks at everybody.
Yeah.
It's like,
But that's what I'm saying.
not everybody is like that. Not everybody like, and that's why so many verses in the Bible have been twisted and contorted and turned. And like one of the verses I have is Ephesians 5:28, and it says, "In the same way, a husband should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself." Isn't that equality?
Listen, if you're non-binary, transgender, gay, and you tell me you're a Christian, once you're immersed or transformed, it will be gone.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
You know,
you have to allow the Holy Spirit to transform you.
So you can't tell me, you can't come and tell me, no, I love God and the Bible says this. Like, I am a Christian. I am a Christian. I said, you're not. Well, you are, but you don't love God as hard as you think you do.
I wouldn't.
I think they're still working.
I think the thing.
That's what I'm saying. But they have to accept that can happen. That transformation can happen if they allow it.
Right,
If they're
like more-
open to it.
You're feeling like they stopped it. Like that's just
Yeah,
me.
this
Like,
is the
it.
ceiling. This is it.
Yeah.
This is what God made me to be. And I understand God, and they think they know like everything.
Yeah, like that part is not changeable.
yes, it's not changeable.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you have to
But-
submit everything. Like, you have to be open to the fact that God will transform you into who He created you to be. Once again, creation is man, woman. If there was no man and there's no woman, why? How can we be here?
How would transgender woman? How would you be here without a man?
Without a man
And
producing?
it goes back to the basis of male and female and the design
It's
of
to a T.
procreation.
Yes, it's to a T. Like, literally lock
literally
and key.
what it is.
Lock and key. Like, there's only one key and there's only one lock, and that's how you can create. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, and that's how I'm telling you. Satan is working real hard right now to slow down the creation process, to slow down marriages, to slow down, knock out people. I'm telling you, he's just knocking off people, like chopping off the wood, like
That is true.
And people genuinely believe like this is natural, like this is supposed to happen. Like,
we'll be extinct.
Let love be love. Like, let love be love. Like, let everybody love one another. Okay, if everybody wants to love one another, I'm telling you, the population.
Your future, you have no future.
decrease.
You will have no iPhone. You will have no new cars.
Yes, you won't have nothing.
Because everything will be shut off.
Shut down
Everybody
because
will
there's no
get-
new people creating.
Yes.
What is God gonna use? You know what
How
I mean?
you need new doctors? You won't
Right,
have new
exactly.
doctors.
How
won't
would you
have
move
nothing.
forward in medicine? Like, there's people.
Cure
there's
for
generations-
coronavirus, you won't get
don't
it.
have Like, generations are supposed to come up so God can use
Generations
these
are
guys.
being slaughtered right now.
I'm
They're
telling
slowing
you,
down.
Future kids are being
cut
slaughtered
down,
right now.
and so people are being deceived. it's like that's why we're talking about this today. Like, trust me, we were fighting. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't know, like.
And you can't cancel me because God is the only one that can cancel me. So I don't really care.
God don't even cancel nobody. He takes everybody, even if you're in this position right now where you consider yourself homosexual, binary. You can still come to Christ. Like, we need to, like, I think we need to say that because a lot of people think, because I'm homosexual, I can't come to God. No, God says, I want your heart. Just give me just start off with your heart.
Your heart.
Just start off with your heart.
And there has been stories. You go on YouTube, there has been stories like that. I think people think that it doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah. But there's been stories like that. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
It's there. Yeah. And I feel like also just like introducing like going back to just like Demi Lovato and like how our world, I feel like a lot of people just want to dominate. And like it's either you want to be a male because of this, you want to, like, you know, there's a fight to be the top person. It's like, no, submission is seen as a weakness, but it's not a weakness
in this culture. Yeah,
you know what it is.
It's not.
But listen, but sorry, before you say that, before you go on, this is if Jesus didn't submit, I would not be here.
Exactly.
That's why there has to be male.
That I would not be here.
Think you want to die?
Like trust me, if like I don't think Jesus wanted to die the way he died,
and everyone needs
but
to
he
submit,
submitted. That's what I'm saying. He submitted
honorably.
Everybody needs to submit at something. Like no matter what, even if you're a leader for something, you're still submitting unto God.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to say I'm the highest of all highs. Like no, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So any final thoughts?
Be the light and pray for wisdom for certain situations. Because that's all I can do, to be honest. You ask me about certain things, I'm going to ask God. I'm going to look up first before I look to the side to ask anybody what. But I'm going to pray and ask for wisdom. That's all I can do, to be honest.
I would just say in general, we're not judging people once again. We're just stating our facts of our truth. I think one thing I could say is don't judge the church as a whole. There are many people out here who will kindly lead with love and not lead with hate. Yeah. So
I agree.
I'll be anyone's friend.
Yeah, and so if you're Christian, this is for my Christians out there who are on the, like, you know, you're on the fence. Remember, you can't be lukewarm with God. You're either in, you're either out. You're either hot, you're either cold. There's no lukewarm with Jesus, and so this is something that He calls us to do, and so. Once again, like Nana said, ask for wisdom. You need to ask for wisdom. That's the only person. God is the only person that can answer the question or give you the words to say with love. Like, you know, like if you feel like, okay, I don't have the words, pray to God and ask for Him to help
before you speak.
Yeah,
slow to speak. Okay, guys.
And quick to listen. Like listen to His words and excuse me, listen to His words and just understand like He will lead you where He needs to lead you. And so don't be afraid.
Be the light.
Be the light. We're the salt of the earth and the light of the world. So we need to preserve what is left before Jesus comes back and captures us all into heaven. Glory to God.
Glory to God.
Do you have a quote of the day? Because that's what's supposed.
I do, but I don't have my phone right now.
What is it? If
the quote?
You have a laptop, you know?
Oh yes. It's gonna take 1 minute though. Guys, I'm coming.
Well, for those who are listening, once again, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, the Juxtaposition. Oh gosh,
I told you that's how I say it.
Juxtaposition Podcast.
Clap it out like syllables.
_ We're also on Twitter as well, the Jux Podcast. We're on. Well, obviously you're watching YouTube right now, so clearly you got to subscribe and like and share and comment. Make sure you guys comment. We really want to know what you guys feel and how you guys feel. We are not afraid for the hate. Listen, Jesus died. He endured the worst of the worst. So what are we gonna endure? You know. So tell us actually how you feel, but with love.
Be honest.
But if you're a hater, like you know, sending death threats and stuff like that, we're gonna get you. But we'll pray for you though. But we'll delete you.
Like when they said in school, if you have nothing to
say, keep it to yourself.
Okay,
keep it to yourself.
Well,
but we love. Yes.
The
go ahead.
Quote of the day, guys, is if you live in fear of the future because of what happened in your past, you will end up losing what you have in the present.
Glory.
Yes.
Come on now. Was that by you or who's that?
Oh, that's not by me.
Can you repeat it for them?
Yeah, say it one more time.
If you live in fear of the future because of what happened in your past. You will end up losing what you have in the present.
Can you see that?
Amen.
Hip
hip.
Hip hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
And that's all, folks. We're the Juxtaposition Podcast, and we're out.
Bye.